Due to copyright reasons, I cannot play a popular culture song without risking copyright infringement if this video is shown on the Vax tour.
Yeah. Hello guys, I'm here live at the TACA Conference in Orange County with James Williams, who is an individual. Well, I'll let you explain.
Hello everyone, my name is James Williams. I am a 20-something adult with autism, and I travel the country to teach awareness. I am also the author of 3 children's books about children with autism. And one reason why I'm at the TACA Conference is to share my story about vaccine injury. When I was 11 years old, in my home state of Illinois, 5th graders had to have mandatory hepatitis B booster vaccines. Several months after my second booster vaccine, my immune system and my digestive system shut down, and I nearly starved to death. I survived after a biomedical intervention that was created in part by the work of the late Dr. John Hicks and Dr. Jeff Bradstreet. That intervention consisted of mineral supplements, acupuncture, and herbal teas. Today, I tell parents this story, and I talk about what it feels like to go through biomedical issues. I take supplements daily. I also am on a gluten-free diet. These interventions enable me to function on a daily basis.
So when you had that booster, do you remember what it felt like?
Initially, when I had the booster, it didn't mean much to me because I didn't notice that I was having the symptoms at the time. I noticed the pain of getting injected with the booster, and my parents were suspicious about it, but I didn't want to stand out from my peers because they were bullying me intensively at that time. So I decided I would do it to fit in with my peers. However, I look back and I realize after that shot, I started having these unexplained bouts of abdominal pain, but they were still livable until the end of June, 2 weeks after I finished the 5th grade. I woke up with some of the worst abdominal pain ever after feeling sick 2 days prior. The pain didn't go away, and I slowly lost my ability to digest food without this abdominal pain. I started living solely on liquid meal replacements, which I did for almost 8 months. As I slowly wasted away and became more and more emaciated, we started going to doctors. Doctors would test me for things, and they'd all come back negative. They'd leave me home to die. Finally, 2 doctors that are now called MAPS doctors, that were Dan doctors at the time, Dr. John Hicks and Dr. Jeffrey Bradstreet, heard my story and prescribed remedies that enabled me to recover after near starvation.
People are giving you lots of love on here. So you started your diet, and then you noticed yourself getting better?
Well, the diet actually was for a different issue.
Oh, okay. So the doctors never could diagnose what happened after you had that vaccine?
Well, we never even concluded it until 10 years later when I was in my 20s and connected the dots.
I see.
That was something that came much later when I had a nice talk with some doctors and we realized, okay, it's probably not a coincidence that this happened after the vaccine.
Yeah.
Now, the gluten allergy was the product of the fact that from age 5 to age 7, I had pretty much a migraine headache almost daily and unexplained motion sickness. We went to doctors who could not accurately diagnose until finally one doctor, who happened to be the father of a child with special needs, said, you know what, his headaches are probably migraines. Cut out gluten for 3 days and see what happens.
Wow.
I cut out gluten for 3 days, and sure enough, my headaches went away. Now at that time, I was only allergic to just wheat, but after I recovered from my illness at 11, my headaches expanded, so now I have to be on a full gluten-free diet, even though it was just wheat in the beginning. Now, interestingly enough, one of the things that always disturbed me and my parents was that when a doctor couldn't figure out, they couldn't admit they didn't know, they just would be arrogant and say, okay, just your kid's fine, and just leave him home to be sick. That, I think, needs to change. But what I will tell you is that although the gluten-free diet did ultimately help me recover from my illnesses, it was not fun to transition. At the time, I lived on gluten. And in fact, there are some kids who do live on gluten. The key to transitioning to a special diet is to find diet-friendly equivalents of the foods your child eats. And also to help your child meet other kids that went through the same thing and benefit from it. But
So do you have a lot of friends that also recognize their vaccine injuries?
I have a few friends, but sadly, most adults I know are programmed to not acknowledge vaccine injury. In fact, there are many adults who would unfriend me if they knew I was here.
Wow.
Rather, what I do is I repeat that theory to parents and then just keep it quiet to adults with autism. One thing I'm a firm believer of is biomedical interventions are important, but they have to be based on medical necessity.
Mm-hmm.
I am a firm supporter of gluten-free and casein-free and special diets for kids. I am not a supporter, however, of putting kids in those diets when they are not benefiting from it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to be on a special diet, do it because it helps you, not for some fad or something.
Sure.
I would eat gluten if it didn't make me sick, but
Yeah.
I'm on a gluten-free diet because if I don't take the proper enzymes or medication, I am going to get sick.
Yeah. So since you had your hepatitis, you had the injury from the Hep B. Have you had any more vaccines, or was that your last one?
That was not my last one. I have had other vaccines, and I have noticed ailments after those vaccines.
Wow. So do you think you'd get another one?
At this point, I've decided that I will not get another vaccine.
Good.
I'd rather have the flu than have the flu shot. Because if I can overcome the flu, then that means I'm immune from it.
Awesome.
One other thing I am also a firm believer of, too, is the fact that people with autism, although they are injured medically, one of the other important barriers to remember is that they are physiologically and physically different.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why we have doctors like the MAPS doctors is to acknowledge those physical differences.
Thank you so much, James, for sharing your story.
Thank you. Just for everyone to know, my name is James Williams. I am the author of several books about children with autism. They are fiction books featuring children with autism. They are titled Out to Get Jack, The Hal Experiment, and When Gary Comes to Play. They are available on my website, www.jamesmw.com. That's www.jamesmw.com, where you can purchase my books, support my work, and support the expenses that it takes for me to come to conferences like this. And also, you can read archived presentations I have about all facets of autism free of charge. Thank you, and enjoy Vax, and good luck with spreading the word.